Now, 4 days before Liverpool take part in the first major cup final of the season, their captain Virgil van Dijk has cast fresh doubt on his future at the club, saying he still has no idea about a potential new contract. Van Dijk was part of the team that lost to Paris Saint-Germain last night in the Champions League round of 16. When asked if he'll still be a Liverpool player beyond August, Van Dijk said this: "I have no idea at the moment. Genuinely, I still have no idea. It is not on hold, nothing on hold. There are 10 games to go, and that is my full focus. If there's news, you guys will know it. I don't even know myself. Everyone knows. There are some conversations behind the scenes, but that is about it. At the moment, I don't even know what will happen next year. If anyone says they do know, they're lying to your face. It's clearly a question of money and maybe length of contract. And when you're in your 30s, like he and Salah are, you want to try and extend your career for as long as you possibly can and extend it on good money. So that might be an issue. And I would imagine money as well, because Liverpool is a football club. From a financial aspect, you don't really want to be playing a 35-year-old who is then not at his best, top dollar. So that could be a bone of contention. But let's face it, hasn't affected the form of either of those two players, enjoying I think Salah may be enjoying his best ever season for Liverpool. And Virgil van Dijk's not far behind at all. So, if they can get to the end of the season, lift the Premier League title and then sign those two, happy days. Everything done with the player, 7 years contract. Sporting said no. Man United decided to invest but owned by Sporting, so Chelsea are monitoring Esugo. Hello everyone, welcome back on the channel. 1 Hour Sports here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. And today, guys, we have to clarify all the details, all the secrets, everything on the Giovanni Quenda between Chelsea and Sporting. What happened with Man United, and also
there is an important quote on Man United's side, and it's about Bruno Fernandes. He said, "I had the possibility to leave." Let's jump into it together. And so guys, here we are, back after last night. I was posting this morning a video we recorded last night when we got the news. Giovanni Quenda to Chelsea. Here we go at 5 AM in the morning, having a crazy transfer story. But let's enter into the details of this, because first of all, let me confirm, Giovanni Quenda can be considered a Chelsea player. Here we go, the deal is done, all the contracts are ready with the agent of the player, George Mendes, heavily involved in this story. Chelsea wanted to keep everything secret to avoid any hijack, any surprise for this deal, and so, everything done with the player. 7 years contract, 1 year option. Giovanni Quenda will join Chelsea in summer 2026, so in 1 year, and this was a crucial point to get the deal done for Chelsea, because other clubs, including Manchester United, wanted to sign Quenda immediately, not in summer 2026, so Chelsea were open to accepting the Sporting conditions. Let us enjoy the player for 1 more season. But we want to close the deal now. We don't want to wait for the summer. Why Chelsea didn't want to wait for the summer? Because Chelsea knew about Manchester United. Man United wanted Giovanni Quenda. Man United tried to get Giovanni Quenda in the January transfer window. The budget for Man United in January for financial fair player restrictions was something around €35 million. Man United tried to approach Sporting, but Sporting said that transfer fee was absolutely not enough to sign the player. Also, Man United wanted Quenda immediately, January or in the summer, not in 2026, and this was a crucial point. Sporting said no. Man United decided to invest that budget on Patrick Dorgu, and then they wanted to try again in the summer for Quenda. Special relationship with Ruben Amorim, really appreciated internally in the club. So, Man United wanted Quenda, and Man United were also surprised when last night, there was the bomb. Giovanni Quenda to Chelsea. They anticipated also other clubs. Why Chelsea wanted to be so fast on Quenda? They knew that especially Bayern working on Giovanni Quenda, so Man United for sure, but also Bayern will sign a very important winger in the summer. Bayern have already started discussions with the agents, representatives of several wingers around Europe, and they spoke to George Mendes about Giovanni Quenda around November, December, January to be informed about the player. So Chelsea wanted to anticipate all the other clubs, accepted Sporting conditions for Giovanni Quenda, and also the player will join in 2026. The transfer fee, from what I'm told, doesn't include any sell-on clause, any future sale percentage, and any add-on. The transfer fee is €51 million, and Chelsea will cover the taxes of the deal. So that's the agreement for Giovanni Quenda to Chelsea from Sporting. It's a here we go, it's a done deal. For Manchester United it's a blow, because they wanted a player. They were in discussions with player side for a long time. That is a crucial point, and that's really important. For Chelsea, Giovanni Quenda, in the discussions they had with Enzo Maresca involved, and let me touch on this point, because I told you already last few weeks, Chelsea are involving Enzo Maresca in the transfer decisions they are making for present and future, and so they had several conversations with Enzo Maresca, and Maresca see Giovanni Quenda as a perfect player, to be a winger of the future. To play 1vs1, playing 1vs1 is what Quenda wants to do. The player didn't want to be a wing-back, as Manchester United were offering to be in a 3-5-2, or maybe playing behind the striker. He wanted to be a pure winger, 1vs1. Chelsea were pushing a lot on this point, and Enzo Maresca was crucial also, to explain the player his point of view. Giovanni Quenda accepted, so that was absolutely important for Chelsea, to get the green light. As I mentioned, everything agreed. We wait for an official statement, but what we can confirm, is that Chelsea signed Giovanni Quenda. Also important to say guys, that Chelsea remain interested in Dario Isugo, the midfielder from Sporting. I did a video after the January transfer window telling you how Chelsea were signing Isugo from St Etienne's midfielder, but Dario Isugo remains a player they want. He's a player they are tracking. He's represented by the same people, so Chelsea had several conversations, on player side, and on club side with Sporting. The player is on loan to Las Palmas, but owned by Sporting, so Chelsea are monitoring Isugo. It's not a done deal at this stage, but Chelsea are monitoring the player, and having discussions in terms of transfer fee, potential package, so Chelsea signed Giovanni Quenda, and are working also for Dario Isugo, because they believe he can be a really important midfielder in the future. Again, remember that Chelsea signed Isugo. He's now part of Chelsea's squad, adapting to England, adapting to Premier League, adapting to new life in London. Then he will go on loan to Strasbourg in the summer, and he's signing that Chelsea really like for the future, but also Dario Isugo could be part of the block group. Let's see what happens with Chelsea, with Strasbourg, but for sure they had conversations, while for now it's not a done deal. We mentioned Manchester United guys, and I wanted to say something important, because last night, hat-trick for Bruno Fernandes in Europa League. Bruno is always Bruno. Bruno is always making an impact. This season has been fantastic, but let me say, Bruno is always fantastic, despite having difficult seasons at Manchester United, not winning major trophies, apart from, of course, some good results in the FA Cup and all the rest, but obviously the desire for a player like Bruno is to win something different, but Bruno has always been super committed, super serious. You remember the exclusive story last summer, when I told you Bruno is extending the contract at Manchester United. It was a massive one, but it was massive, because Bruno yesterday, after the game, said, I had the chance to leave Manchester United. I had an important proposal, important opportunities last summer, and I decided to stay after speaking to the club, to the coaching staff. What's the point? Is Bruno saying the truth? Guys, it's more than true. It's more than true, because Bruno Fernandes had two possibilities. One was an approach before the Champions League final, so even before the start of the summer transfer window, from Paris Saint-Germain to be informed about Bruno Fernandes, but there was no chance for Manchester United to give the green light, so Paris Saint-Germain's top target has always been João Neves. Number 1, 2, and 3. Bruno was an extra story. He was never an alternative to João Neves, because PSG always considers João Neves as their top target, but the real proposal he had on the table, in terms of a big proposal, was from Saudi Arabia. There was crazy money on the table for Bruno Fernandes, in summer 2023, 2 years ago, and also in summer 2024. They wanted Bruno again, but Bruno decided to stay at Man United, to respect Man United, to be committed to Man United. He loves the club. He loves the city, he loves the feeling he has with all the people of the club, he wants to win at Man United. And so Bruno sent a very clear message, I want to stay here, I'm open to signing a new contract. Man United gave him an important contract, and so Bruno ended up staying, but Saudi was a strong possibility for Bruno Fernandes, and when he says I had a proposal, yes, from Saudi, that was really concrete, but Bruno once again showing how committed he is to Man United. And so everyone, let me know your thoughts on all these stories, from Giovanni Quenda to Dario Esugo, but also Bruno Fernandes. What's your feeling on this Quenda story? One of the craziest stories, and we are in March. Imagine what's next. Imagine what's going to happen in the next months with the transfer window. Guys, let me know your opinion here in the comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon, with Narlan Bake.
There with last night's Champions League match in Madrid that could lead to a rule change in football. Julian Alvarez's penalty kick was ruled out in Atletico Madrid's shootout defeat to Real Madrid after he was deemed to have kicked the ball twice. Our chief reporter Kaveh Solkol is here to discuss the incident and, of course, UEFA's response, because we've had one already. So Kaveh, talk us through what happened then. I'm still really upset about what happened last night. I bet Alvarez is. I'm not even an Atletico Madrid supporter, but I was watching the game. Brilliant game of football, but I was watching the ball. This is like the pinnacle of club football, Champions League. Two incredible teams, each other. Game goes to a penalty shootout. Julian Alvarez steps up. He scores this penalty to make the score 2-2-2 in the penalty shootout. But apparently, I don't know if the naked eye can see it. I think you can just see it. He unintentionally touched the ball twice. Now, I have to take my hat off to Diego Simeone and the rest of the Atletico Madrid players, because I think some of the managers and some other players would have been absolutely fuming at the end of that game. You could tell they were unhappy about what had happened, but they did accept defeat and take it on the chin. Although in his news conference, Diego Simeone did say, was there anyone in this stadium who actually saw him kick the ball twice? If there is anyone here, please put your hands up. Now, what's emerged today is that Atletico Dalits have been in touch with UEFA just to inquire about what went on, because it was such a heartbreaking way, cruel way to go out of the Champions League. And UEFA have been very, very quick with their response. They've released a statement in the last hour saying, yes, Atletico did contact us about the incident. Just to clarify, the player did touch the ball twice, but UEFA say contact was minimal. The player made contact with the ball using his standing foot before kicking it. I think we could just see. Yeah, so he sort of slipped past the ball unintentionally. He slipped, and so he touched the ball twice. He didn't gain an advantage from doing that. Although he did score, he scored, but he would have scored anyway. Yeah, it would have been a goal. Under IFAB's laws of the game, Law 14.1, the rule says that VAR had to call the referee to tell him that the ball had been touched twice by the kicker and therefore the goal had to be disallowed. But UEFA clearly can see why this is problematic, and this may be something that needs to be looked at, because they do say that they will enter discussions with FIFA and IFAB to determine whether the rule should be reviewed in cases where a double touch is clearly unintentional. Okay, Solkol, thank you very much indeed.